I remember when. Today is a very special day, definitely taking me down memory lane. So we actually have three people today, and so random. We have a mini The Wiz reunion, which was the first musical I was in the US back in 2012. Yeah, I had to look at the poster. It was directed by Rajendra Ramoon Maharaj and choreographed by James Harkness. And if you don't know who James Harkness is and you've seen the show Ain't Too Proud, well, you should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, first we have Sydney, who tells us a story of basically losing on stage, but it was from her own game. I'll let her explain that. And then we have Devon, who devoured the White Room. And I'll let him explain what that means. And then last but not least, we have James sharing our prayer circles every day in the Wiz. Let's just get right into it.
Hi, it's Sydney Alise. Miriam, thank you so much for having me on I Remember When. I am bringing you guys a story of I Remember When I was playing Allie in the Art Center of Coastal Carolina's production of Mamma Mia. And that show was a lot of fun for me. There was a lot of really great dancing, and I was one of the lead best friends, so I got to dive into a character and really make a lot of choices. And anyone who has ever done a show with me knows that I love stage games. Stage games are, if you don't know, are these little games that the cast can play once you've really gotten into your show and it's already snapped and everything is wonderful about it. Sometimes you need a little something to like keep it fresh and light and fun. It also helps with camaraderie. So I can totally dish it, but I cannot always take it when these games are being played. My poker face is not the best. But in Mamma Mia, the opening number is a number called Honey Honey, and it's Allie, Sophie, and Lisa. They get together, and Sophie has this diary. It's her mother's diary, and she's reading them things from it, and she'll literally turn the page and point to things, and we're, expressing, and we're looking at the book, and it's really great. Well, myself and Lisa decided very early that we wanted to write little notes to Sophie. So at curtain call, we would just like scribble a little something, and then when she would turn the page on stage, she would see it, and it would be like, your hair looks great, or your butt looks good today. Just something random that would make her like kind of giggle. But one night, our Sophie decided to turn the tables on us, and she wrote like a pop culture reference in there about, I think, Black China and Rob Kardashian, which was something silly that we were talking about in the dressing room. But she wrote it in the book, and there's this moment, and she turns the page and she says, and look at this. And we're looking at it, and myself and Lisa, like, we could not take it. We were not prepared for it at all. And we have lines, and we're still singing, and we can't release our laughter. And it's a really funny thing that actors do. We communicate with our minds when we're on stage and with subtext, because we can't say things outside of the show script. So we somehow communicated that we were going to try to space out our laughter. For instance, there was a time when we knew we would sing and do a little dance, and then we would laugh and hug each other. And so we were waiting for that moment to really like release all of our laughter. And normally that would have worked really fine, but it was just something about that day and about that joke when I saw it. And when we got to the point where we could release our laughter, I released my laughter and I couldn't stop. And I had another line after. It was a mess. I think my line was something like, let's hope it's a wide aisle, which I usually did like really sassy. I'm like, let's hope it's a wide aisle. Just something really sassy. And I was laughing so hard, I don't even know if the audience understood it. So God bless my cast members, my Lisa and my Sophie, for being so professional, while I was laughing so hard. Oh my gosh. they're gonna make fun of me for this. But I don't know, if the audience really knew what I said or not. And then we did finish the scene and the song, and everything else went very smoothly. But I do recall one of the boys coming from the men's dressing room who can hear on the live speaker. He was like, "What happened on stage?" But we didn't tell anybody. We just like kept it a little secret because it got out of hand. But it was a lot of fun. And these are the things that I love about theater and I miss about theater. So I hope everyone is safe in quarantine, and we will be back at it again. And I will be bringing show games to a show near you soon.
Sydney! Oh, maybe it was you then. No. No, I think it was someone else who, in the Wiz, there was a couple of games happening. The one I remember was Pass the Penny, and I remember being like so anxious to receive it and not know how to oh my god, like who do I pass it on to? And I still need to do this show. But it was yeah, a lot of fun. And like Sydney was saying, like keeping you present on your toes and everything. But there was one thing that happened with Devon, who's gonna share next. Devon and I were the Yellow Brick Road. We were also dance partners in the show, doing lifts and things like that. And there was one scene where we arrived with Dorothy and found the Tin Man. And here, the line was something like, I want to get hot, or I don't have a heart. And there was a beat where everybody would be like, oh no, kind of thing. And I don't know what came over me that day. And I turned to Devon and I was like, oh, no boom, 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 boom. I didn't think it was that funny, but he cracked up. I think he just did not anticipate that happening at all. And he just started vibrating for I don't know how long, and seeing him laugh or trying to hold in his laughter made me laugh more than my stupid joke. So then just seeing that, I'll be like, that's not funny. And that was it. That was it for the rest of the run, which I think wasn't that many weeks, but when you have like 8 shows a week, it's quite a few shows. For the rest of it, and I think it's only the last show that we managed to like keep ourselves together, but we would literally forget about it the whole day until we would get to the scene where we meet the Tin Man. And yeah, and then basically I would see Devon just try not to look at me because he knew, and then I also knew, so I would be like this, and then I'm sure he would just see me staring at him, but all I could see was him vibrating, holding his staff, or finding ways, like Sydney was saying, to get through laughter fits, and like looking behind and going, oh, but then you would still have the vibration. I love you so much, Devon. Let's get into his story.
God, those were the good old days, man. And if it's one person that can make you laugh, it's definitely Miriam on stage, because she is a clown. Anyway, let's get to my story, shall we? Hey, it's Devon Buchanan from Nashville, Tennessee. I remember when. Yikes. I was recently on the national tour of Escape to Margaritaville, and I played Ted, who is the manager/lawyer to the lead character Tully, who helps him create his career. Now, this is the first time in my professional career that I have ever physically, mentally, all of it entered the white room. Now, entering the white room means that you yourself forget all lines, all steps, even the fact that you're in the theater. The lights are blinding you, you don't know what's going on. It happens, trust me. And I never thought it would happen to me. Never. Until we get to the scene that I'm in with Tully, and I'm reciting my lines as per usual, and my line goes after a punchline. It's supposed to go, nah, he works in the cafeteria. Anyways, I'm glad he invited me. I represent entertainers. Do you have an agent? Yeah. No. Didn't happen that way. As I said, nah. He works in the cafeteria. Literally blinded. Did not know where I was, what I could possibly say, and just ended up saying, I'm an entertainer. Luckily, Chris Clark, who plays Tully, the magician that he is, or the robot that he is, because I kind of wish I was like that, picked us right back up into the scene and everything came flooding back. It happened one time and it has never happened again. Weird.
Hey there. What a cool idea to do an I Remember When segment. I think that's really awesome. So, I remember there are so many things that I remember, but because it's you and the Wiz has definitely been brought back into the air. I remember we did prayer circle almost every day. Actually, I think we did it every day. Maybe there was one day that we didn't do it. And it was always a beautiful thing. It is what people do, especially black companies do. But I think a lot of people do prayer circles during shows, during rehearsals, just to draw us together. And it's definitely something that was a very cemented part of our process because of where our director was coming from with this production of The Wiz, talking about ancestry and how I thought it was actually really quite beautiful and clever how he wanted to go through these characters in The Wiz that, you know, a lot of us, maybe all of us know, but go, how could they be related back to you and how are they related to each other? And it was homework that was given. So we would always hold hands in a circle and have a prayer. This one particular day that we were doing that, people were relaying stories, and then the stories just got personal, and then they got more personal, and this feeling came over the space, and it was one of the most spiritual connections that we had all had as a group. The stories that were shared, very personal and scary and emotional stories that were brought into that circle. It was an incredible moment. Many, many, many tears were shed that day, and it definitely brought us all closer together, and it infused itself into our production and made our production incredibly special. And I'll just never forget that moment because we are very vulnerable people. We're very fragile. And it's a scary thing to share things about you that someone doesn't know because that puts you in a light where you may be looked at in a certain way, and that's a scary thing to do. But I was really, really blessed by the things that were said, and I think we all felt that that day. And as I said, it really truly made our production very special because the connection that each other had to each other in real life that spilled over into the character work in that show. It spilled over into the singing, it spilled over into the acting, it spilled over into the dance, made that production more than just doing The Wiz. And so I remember that, and I'm always grateful for that and all of those human beings that I got to spend that time creating with and sharing our life. So that is my I Remember story. That is longer than 3 minutes. I'm sorry, and I'm out.
Yeah, that was a day, and it definitely did bring us all together, like connected us at another level. Yeah, I'll never forget that show. It was amazing in so many ways. I haven't experienced anything like it since. Thank you so much, James, for taking the time out to actually share on I Remember When. And thank you both so much too for sharing these stories. Wow. Sorry, I'm just tripped down memory lane. Okay, focus. Yeah, so if anybody wants to share anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here all week, all month, all day. Yeah. Anyway, see you next time. Stay safe and catch you later.